Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the It's Obvious podcast. My name's GarrettDrake. I'm joined online by Jacob Alka. Preston Pugh is missing in action again, but he'll be back in due time. Jacob, I've missed you all week. Hardly spoken to you at all. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's been a good week. How about you?
It's been quite well. We are doing a little test run here since we haven't had video in quite some time. I think since episode 200 itself, which has been more than 5 weeks, obviously. We've missed a couple weeks, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
We're trying to implement video on either end and trying to properly sync them up. That's not as complicated as one may think it is, but knowing us, we'll probably screw it up somehow. But I'm hoping it works out because, one, I think it'd spruce up the video version of the podcast. For obvious reasons, but secondly, because I'm going to have a very, very long shift at work this evening, roughly till about 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. in the morning is I've repeated myself, Jacob. Let me preface this by saying I am exhausted as I typically am because I got off work at 3 a.m. last night, was back up at 8 to get to work by 9 for our early morning shift that lasted till about 3 p.m. And I have a short break to do the podcast, and then I got to be back by 7 and work till 3 a.m. again. And then I got to be back up to be at church in the morning by 6 a.m. So I'm going nonstop. But the reason why we're doing this video is, one, like I said, for YouTube itself, and also because I want something to work on at work tonight, because I have the easy part of the job, and I'll just be sitting there doing nothing for roughly, how many hours is that? I'm really bad at math. 8? More than 8?
Yeah.
Something like that. So thank you for your willingness to try this with me, Jacob. I hope it pays off for us, and I hope everyone that tunes into the video version on YouTube is somewhat satisfied with seeing our faces once again. We can't see yours. I wish we could, but regardless, Jacob, I'm so happy to be here with you on episode 205. How was your week?
It was good. I'm actually glad we're doing this. It's been a while since we've had video on the YouTube channel, so it'll be nice to bring that back for all the people that appreciate it. In terms of my week, it's been good. Been a really slow week at work, actually. And I also didn't stream very much this week. I wasn't really in a streaming mood, if that makes sense. I've just been kind of being lazy with it, to be honest. But I also just kind of need some time to refocus, I guess, and just kind of, just chill. I just need some time to myself. And I'm not afraid to admit that. But this next week, Apex Legends Season 2 is going to be out, and that's definitely gotten me hyped to stream pretty much all next week. So you can expect me live pretty much every weekday except Wednesday. So
okay, well, I'd love to
maybe
join
not
you.
Monday too, but every other day I'll be on.
I mean, I'd love to join you, Jacob, because I was not able to join you at all this past week. I don't know what happened. I guess our schedules did not line up even in the slightest, unfortunately.
No. It happens, man.
So, yeah, I look forward to Season 2 as well. I haven't played, I think collectively I played about 8 to 10 hours of Season 1. Mm-hmm. So, even if it even counts as Season 1, whatever existed before, all the other stuff they added was in there.
Oh, I don't think you ever had the Battle Pass, did you?
I did not.
Yeah. Mm-mm. So, yeah, I don't even think you technically played in Season 1. I think you quit before Season 1.
Yep. So I'm jumping into all the fresh content, the map updates, the new weapon, mm-hmm. the new legends,
and you'll have 2 new characters to come back to.
Exactly. So I got a lot to look forward to. I'm gonna get my ass kicked, of course, but I assure you that you will lead us to victory, Jacob. Because
I hope so.
The utmost faith in you, and you are my father after all. So
thank you so much.
I know my papa will protect me out there in the battlefield.
How you doing, man? Besides all of your busy weekend.
I'm doing quite well, actually. I had a pretty solid week. I played some video games, which we'll talk about. I'm pretty excited about them. Also had a fun photo shoot that was cool, and just been working in the meantime. So it's a pretty relaxed week. I mean, very busy weekend, of course, but plenty to talk about from the week. And of course, we have a fun discussion ahead of us here in the episode.
We do.
But I'm trying to think of anything else interesting that happened. I don't think anything happened aside from just work and games. So anyway, gotcha. Jacob. Like I said, I played a few games. I played Hunt Showdown, of course. Played quite a bit of Hunt Showdown.
Oh.
Probably about 10 hours or so.
Oh, wow.
And I won the majority of my matches. It's like nothing ever changed or I never left. It's wonderful. Wow. Of course, I had my ass kicked a handful of times, but the majority of my experience on Hunt Showdown this week was victorious, which is cool. Yeah, nothing really to report there aside from the fact that it is, and I guess it's called Xbox Game Preview, whatever they call that on Xbox. It's sort of like early access. Hunt Showdown is currently available on there.
Oh.
And I wanted to read a question while we're talking about Hunt.
Okay.
From a community member regarding the game, if I can find it. I should have highlighted it.
So
Found it.
let me ask you this: like, since you've last played, what's like the coolest thing that they changed in the game since then?
It's always pretty minor changes for the most part. There is a new boss, which is cool, called the Assassin. It's sort of like a phantom entity that you fight.
Yeah.
Definitely the easiest of the three bosses, but it's cool to have a third to fight, which is awesome. Updates to all the bosses in general, most notably with the spider update coming soon, that makes it a little more frenzied, and it actually attacks you far more often than it used to. Because it used to be kind of an annoying boss to fight because it'd mostly run away from you, and you have to chase it down, and it'd occasionally spit venom at you or jump on you.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's going to be even more terrifying because it'll chase you down to every corner of the room you're fighting it in.
Oh my
so
goodness.
that kind of excites me because I was already a little creeped out by the spider, as you know. But
yeah, I hate
now
that
face. Now that it's definitely going to chase after me, that makes me crap my pants just thinking about it. So I'm excited about that. I think there's a few new weapons. Certainly quality of life improvements, a couple map updates, times a day that are cool.
Do you ever scream when you play the game? Like, do you get that scared?
It's been a minute since I've screamed, but there are certainly still key moments that evoke a yelp, a childlike yelp out of me. So that's why I'm eager to play with you, Jacob, because I know you're a bit of a screamer as well, and I mean that in every sense of the word. But especially when we play horrific video games together, you and I tend to scream in harmony. So I'd love to have that experience with you. And I talked about this week, I was just dying. I'm still dying to make some sort of video content with you, of course, video game related, for the YouTube channel because it's been so long. And I think it'd also be fun if we can find a chance to review Spider-Man Far From Home, because we haven't reviewed a movie in a while. Mm-hmm. And this one, aside from Endgame, of course, I'm very excited to see. And I think it'd be a fun one to talk about. So if we can make that happen, that'd be cool.
Yeah, when does it come out?
It comes out on technically Tuesday, but there are early screenings on Monday at midnight, which is odd because typically early screenings happen like 7 and 8 p.m. these days, but these ones are actually premiering at midnight and 1 a.m. like they used to.
Oh, interesting.
But I am freaking stoked, brah.
Well, if that's the case, we need to go see it together.
I'd like to do that, Jacob. We'll talk about it soon.
What if we went to go see it in person together, obviously, because we have to, because it's in the theater.
Yeah.
And then we go either eat before or after, and then we do the podcast after that. And,
I like that,
and
Jacob.
the review of that movie.
Yeah, of course.
Is there like a way we can do that next weekend?
Yeah. Preston wants to do that as well.
Okay.
Because he'll be in town for a week.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
We should include old Poobah. I think it'd be the ultimate way to reunite for both the podcast and Spider-Man, of course.
For sure. And I'd be willing to, travel wherever need be, wherever we want to go.
Beautiful. We'll figure it out. But before I forget, the Ace of Spades writes in about Hunt Showdown itself, as I mentioned. And he says, "Hello, meaty boys. It's been a while, but don't worry, I've kept up with the podcast. This question is to Garrett, my one and only dad that works hard till his death. You can even say Garrett just can't die.
That makes him my grandson.
Hunt Showdown on Xbox One came out, and I wanted to ask, will you be willing to dust off and hop on the old footstool to play some Hunt with your fellow Xbox fans in the future, maybe? Love you all, and you guys are what keep my soul and my body through work. Take it easy." Ace of Spades, thank you so much for writing in, my friend. And you can count on me dabbling at the very least with Hunt on Xbox, maybe even eventually on PS4, because it was announced this fall it is coming to PS4. And I think Hunt actually leaves early access officially on Xbox and PC in August, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
So it has been in early access since February of last year, I believe. And I, of course, have been a bit of a diehard. There are, of course, people that have played literally 10 times the amount of hours I've played, but my 280 plus hours are pretty special to me. And that I've totally fallen in love with that game. And the people that are really hardcore about it just get it for some reason. It just clicks with the people who really love it. So I'm excited for it to exit early access officially. I think there's even there'll be a fair amount of physical copies coming to retailers as well, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
I may buy one just to have it at some point because I enjoy the game so much. But it is cool that original early access purchasers get some kind of fancy legendary skin for weapons. Because I believe skins are coming to the game now as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So a lot of cool stuff coming to the game. And of course, Crytek's support and the community feedback has crafted it in one of the finest PvE experiences I've ever had. And I'll shut up about it now, but Ace of Spades, yes, I will dabble on Xbox. I think I don't know if it counts with Game Pass, because I have a couple Game Pass cards I haven't used yet. I'd hate to buy it again. I love the game enough to buy it again, but I'd only play on Xbox. I'd seldom play on Xbox, considering how often I play on PC, but Short answer, yes, totally willing to play on Xbox, and I'd hope that other people on Xbox would want to play. Speaking of Xbox, Jacob, I played a lot of Master Chief Collection this week.
Oh, really?
Yep. I played with Zach a bit on Halo 3 this past week, like traditional Halo 3 backwards compatible on Xbox, and of course that was a stellar experience as always. Loved every moment of it, but that made me want to dabble in Master Chief Collection again because I know they've had a ton of updates come to the game, and also for my hype for Reach coming to Steam and whatnot for PC soon. But man, Master Chief Collection has come so far since its initial launch, and I know people that have played the game are even familiar with the story about that game, are aware of the fact that it had one of the roughest launches of all time, at least in regard to multiplayer connectivity.
I remember the multiplayer didn't even work, dude.
No, for like I'm not even exaggerating, for 6 months, it was beyond faulty. Like, it hardly functioned for 6 months. I think even longer than that, like, it still had issues. So it has reached the point now where I describe it as matchmaking is not only is it clockwork, but you get in and out of matches as quickly as you would in, like, Call of Duty back in the day.
Oh.
So, I mean, I'm talking to the point where I don't even have time to look at my phone. I'm getting in and out of matches so quickly. So that's a great thing. Yep. And I love how, excuse me, I got a burp. Forgive me. I love how you can customize your social playlist, for example, to cater to whatever you want to play. Like I deselected Halo 1. I love Halo 1, but I don't love it nearly as much as 2 and the rest. So I selected Halo 2 Classic, Halo 2 Remastered, Halo 3, Halo 4. I think that's all of them for now. But then I selected like which game modes I wanted to play. And even with those niche selections made, I still got in and out of matches constantly, which is awesome. And I just forgot how beautiful it looks and runs at 60 frames per second across all games. And just jumping in between like 2, 3, and 4 back and forth constantly with different game modes is just so much fun, and it's constantly engaging and entertaining. I played with horrible teammates the entire time. But if anyone has Master Chief Collection on Xbox, I've been dabbling on that quite a bit in the mornings. I don't know how often you guys are available in the mornings because I work evenings. So that's typically when I'm online these days, which is nice. I've missed it so much. But anyone who's playing Master Chief Collection or is willing to give it another shot, I'm online. Love to have you. Aside from that, Jacob, I played Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh,
and I regret buying it. I regret buying it because I played it for about an hour and I wasn't bored. I'm not really in the mood for it right now, I don't think. I'm sure there will come a time where I want to play it.
Well, then why'd you buy it?
I was so bored at work this morning, dude, that I was like, I just want something to play. So I dropped the $60 on it to play it. And then I remembered that, one, I wanted to play Bloodstained, but two, I also wanted to buy another PlayStation Gold headset, which is only $75 on Amazon.
Why do you want to buy that headset?
Because I love that headset so much.
There's so many better headsets, man.
Oh, yeah, that's very subjective, Jacob. I have let me see it real quick.
Just comparing that headset to other headsets, it's just like a piece of crap.
So I have this, maybe I can research it a bit more, but I don't know if you guys can see this on video. It's the Audi's Mobius. I just called the Audi's Mobius headset.
Okay.
And I reviewed it for COG and gave it a very good review because it is a phenomenal pair of headphones with many wonderful features. But for some reason, whenever I select my headphones on PC and in Hunt Showdown, for example, as my audio input, like the headphones will work. And then if I select my mic, like the mic will work and then the headphones won't work. It's really bizarre. But it's also pretty uncomfortable in comparison to the Gold headset. And I like how the Gold headset is much more comfortable than the other one.
See, I think my Gold headset is very uncomfortable. So that's why I don't like it.
Clearly, our heads are shaped differently.
Yes, that must be the case.
That's quite all right, though.
Even this headset that I'm wearing now, I know you can't see it because you can't see my video, but I'm wearing the Astro A50s, and they're much more comfortable than the Golds were, in my opinion. But still, this headset hurts, and it's very, cushiony. So I think I just have a head problem.
A head problem. I'm a bit of a cone head myself. You can't tell because of the hair on my head. But if I was ever to go bald, like Preston's not bald. He chooses to wear his hair like that. But if I were to shave my head entirely, you would see that I'm a minor cone head. Like I'm from outer space. So that's why typically the head strap's got to be cozy for me.
Yeah.
And like, for example, on the Mobius, there's this plastic part that sticks out from the cushion.
Ooh.
Where are you? Right here? Can you see this?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, this rim right here just digs into my skull, whereas the Gold headset, which is falling to pieces, the cushion wraps around that entire plastic part, so it never really digs into my cone.
Yeah.
Or my camel hump that resides in my head.
Yeah, I know you can't see it, but here's my Gold headset to everyone watching the YouTube version of the stream.
Let's hope I can actually include the video in this audio.
Oh, you'll get to see it in the edit, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a good looking headset. Like I like how I got the white one. It has the blue finish on the inside. It's a good looking headset for sure.
Blue and white is a killer combo, that's for sure.
Did you have the black one or did you have the white and blue?
I had the white. I wanted to buy the I don't know the proper term for see-through. I know there's a different term for that. But that one's a bit more expensive.
Are you talking about the dark blue one?
Yeah, the dark blue one.
Like the special edition one they came out with?
Yeah. Those are a bit more expensive, so I think I'm just going to go with the matte black headset this time.
Nothing wrong with black.
You know me, Jacob. Anything black, I will adorn.
Yes.
Anywhere on my body.
That's right.
I think it's all the games I played, but I did see Toy Story 4. Have you seen Toy Story 4?
I haven't. No, I'm dying to see it.
All right. I'm glad to say that I think I may have mentioned this. I had hoped that I never felt like it was going to be bad by any means, but I always questioned, why would you make a fourth Toy Story when the third one wrapped up the trilogy so well?
Yes.
And I still stand by the fact they could have ended with Toy Story 3 and it wouldn't have changed my opinion of Toy Story 4. Like, I still think it could have ended with Toy Story 3. Mm-hmm. But the story they have to tell in Toy Story 4 is phenomenal. I mean, incredible writing, pacing, humor, awesome new characters. You won't get as much as the old characters as I would have liked, but overall, it was incredibly emotional. It was hilarious. I had a ton of fun watching it, and I was entirely satisfied with the entire film. It was awesome. So I applaud Pixar for once again blowing it out of the park, or knocking it out of the park. I know they've had their bumps in the road with like Good Dinosaur and stuff, but Toy Story 4 is a stark reminder. Yeah, Toy Story 4 is a stark reminder of not only their technical prowess and animation, but also their storytelling capabilities. So
yeah.
I am just totally excited for whatever they do next. I will say their trailer for Onward looks very questionable. It looks like the C team of Pixar worked on it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I'm wrong about that one too. I never want, like I said, any game or movie to be bad, but I certainly don't have faith in Onward. But
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it looks like DreamWorks made it or something. It's like about troll people. It's like it may interest you actually. I mean, I think the concept is cool. It just doesn't look very good to me. It's like a mystical world in like the modern age. There's like unicorns and trolls and monsters, but living in like say the suburbs of Atlanta.
Are you saying that I like unicorns and trolls, Garrett?
Yes, I am, because you're a World of Warcraft obsession, as we know.
Yeah.
Dude, they got unicorns. You're going to love it so much, man. You should look into it.
Yeah, I mained a unicorn rogue. How could I forget?
Did you really?
No.
Okay. I know you named your, your rogue Sylve. You have a character named Sylve on World of Warcraft.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind that?
It was literally, there was a horde leader called Sylvanas on the horde. Mm-hmm. And she's like this undead leader. I thought she was super cool, so I just shortened the name to Sylve.
Have you always been for the Horde?
No, I've always been Alliance. That's the ironic thing. And I only played Alliance because most of my friends in the game were Alliance. But I really wanted to play Horde, to be honest.
And it makes sense as why do you play primarily as a rogue then, with the name Sylve?
And
was that planned or was that just coincidence?
It was good plan. Yeah. I've had many names though in the game, but that was the one that I ended up naming for the most years.
I've been known by many names, but most call me Sylve.
I had many names.
That's exciting.
For example, one was Jackie Moon for a while.
I'm quite familiar with that name.
Yes.
We've had Jackie Moon, Jace Move.
I couldn't even tell you them all.
We have countless. J Scrub.
One was just my last name. Like
Alka for a while was your name. Yeah, that's correct.
But yeah, good times. No need to open that can of worms right now. Although I have been thinking about going back to WoW recently because they just launched their 8.2 update.
Yep.
And that's kind of like, think of the the updates in WoW compared to like not an expansion in Destiny, but kind of like a smaller update maybe. Like maybe sort of on the scale of like Curse of Osiris or I'm trying to think of like the ones in Destiny 1, like the smaller DLC updates. Like that's kind of like, it's like a big patch update to continue the story in the game. They'll add like another raid. It's that kind of content drop. And I've been thinking about going back, once I finish Octopath, which I'm still working on, happy to say. Well into chapter 3 stories. Great game. I hope to be finished with it in a couple weeks. I'm slowly trekking through it. I'm playing it at work on the go. Perfect way to play the Switch, let me tell you, on the go, Garrett. I'm loving the Switch on the go. I literally just spend sometimes I'll spend my entire lunch break just playing Octopath, and just makes you a really happy boy inside, let me tell you. But what else have I been playing? Playing more Apex. Not a whole lot this week, just a little bit. Really getting hyped up for all the teasers they're showing for season 2, which will be launching on the 2nd. Have you watched the trailers at all?
For Apex?
Yeah,
I have. Yep.
did you watch both of them?
Is there an animated one and a gameplay one, or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've seen both.
Yeah, I thought the animated one was really cool. I enjoy the animation style that they choose to go with. I think it's cool. And I like how like they're kind of teasing another character at the beginning of it to potentially release next season, maybe. I don't know. And they kind of showed all the destruction that's going to be happening on the map, all the wildlife that's invading. One of those big dinosaurs is called Rosie, by the way. So whenever we're playing, we'll have to go pet Rosie. And
I'd love to pet Rosie.
Hopefully she doesn't stomp on us. That would be bad. But definitely excited about all the changes, and I'm just it's cool to like be playing a game that I really enjoy, and then there's going to be like updates that are literally going to change how I'm playing the game. I don't know. It's not really something that I've experienced on on a scale like this. Like I played WoW, but it was different. Like it wasn't a completely online, sandbox multiplayer game in the same sense that Apex is. And I'm just excited to see what's changed, see what's good now, and I'm just excited to mix it up a little bit. I've been playing the same content for several months, so I'm excited to mix it up.
I'm excited for you, Jacob. And
I'm just excited to play with you. I really want to play some games with you.
I'm stoked for that. Lead us to victory, please. We're going to need it.
Oh, yeah. I think that's all I played, though. Nothing new. Didn't touch, what's that game called? Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Yeah, I deleted that an hour after I downloaded it.
It's gone.
What a waste.
Yeah. I still have Elder Scroll Blades on my phone. I might give it another chance.
Is that free?
It is, yeah.
I'm going to be so bored at work I may just download it because...
Dude, don't expect much, okay?
Oh, I don't, because I've played it... I mean, I guess I played it well over a year ago. I don't know how much it's improved, but even at the time, I was not interested.
Why don't you take your Switch? Don't worry about that.
I took my Switch to work and I was still bored. Well, I even started a new game in Breath of the Wild and got like an hour into it and was just bored to tears.
Why aren't you playing Mario? Mario's fun, right?
Mario Maker?
Yeah, like play the campaign.
I mean, I guess I was playing the campaign, but I just told you I'm not really in the mood for Mario at the moment.
And there's so many cool levels that people have made. I'm sure
but I don't have the Nintendo online service, whatever it's called, so I can't play online. I'm not willing to pay for it either.
I got you. Well, did you see what people were saying in the Discord? Because I saw you posted that.
Yes, I did see that.
Do you have an Amazon Prime account?
Yeah.
Is it active?
Yes.
You can link that to your Twitch account. If you don't have a Twitch account, make one. You can even use the IOG one if you want. And then just that'll literally give you like a year of Nintendo Online for free if you just do that.
So you link it to Twitch and then link it to Nintendo?
Yes.
Sounds like a lot of work.
No, you just go into the Twitch settings and you link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. And then you can go down to your reward. There's like a rewards tab and you claim the Nintendo Online subscription. Because they give away all this stuff for like various games, and apparently Nintendo's joining the club, and they're giving away a free month if you just link your account.
Right. I am quite desperate, so I may in fact indulge.
Seriously, look into that because it's literally just a free year for you.
Jacob.
Yeah, please.
I appreciate your suggestion and everyone else on Discord that told me to do so.
Yes.
I'm
just a messenger. Anything else cool? I got a haircut today. Yeah.
I didn't notice when you pulled up the video.
Oh, well, it's not like drastically different, but I went up like a 3 on the sides with the clippers in my hair, and then on the top I got it pretty much trimmed, pretty short, but I think my hair looks better.
So it's longer on the sides than it is on the top?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't like buzz the top, but we cut it pretty short to where it like just blends in kind of to the sides as well. But it's still longer.
Never win with my hair, dude. Or at least, I mean, personally, I prefer my hair much shorter than it is now. But every time I cut it that short, everyone's like, "You look like you're in the military." So I can never cut my hair that short because everyone says that.
Yeah.
So it's either really long or nothing, I guess.
See, I think you look really good with short hair when you do it.
See, I love my short hair, but everyone else in my life seems a bit concerned about it.
Why do you care what they think?
I don't really care what they think, but that's all I ever hear is that you look like you're in the military.
Well, tell them they look like they're in the military.
I typically have some sort of response like that, but I'm
them
in
to
the
go
process
shove
of growing it back out again. I don't know if I'm going to go as long as I was before, but certainly at least a medium length. I've always felt most like myself with a medium length of hair.
I was looking at old photos of like you on my phone a while ago. I was like, not like in
Dude,
particular.
I was in bed
you.
the other night with no pants on, and not that even matters to the story, but I was nude, and I was also looking at old pictures of you on my phone that I've kept for a long time, but only because I miss you, and that's the only reason why.
Like, how did you know? But anyway, so I just saw like these old pictures of you with long hair. I was like, holy crap! Like, I forgot he had that long ass hair. That, like,
yeah, it was a bit much. It was a bit excessive.
It went down your back, didn't it? Like, it was past your shoulders.
Yeah.
It was long as shit, man. How long did it take you to dry your hair?
It was quite a while. I rarely ever took a blow dryer to it, so I'd let it just air dry for like 2 hours. Yeah.
That's insane, man.
Yeah, good times.
But yeah. Wait, I don't think I was on my phone. I think I was... Oh, well, I was on the YouTube channel. I was just looking at the old thumbnails. Just of like, the podcast where we were all sitting at the table. And I was just looking how your hair progressed as the channel went on.
Yeah. All that's documented on our Instagram channel.
Yeah.
Our Instagram account, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But anyways, nothing too really exciting for me. I'm going to go buy some jeans for work after this. So
jeans for work? What kind of jeans?
Just, I'm going to go to like Kohl's or Target, just get some cheap jeans that fit well, Just some ones I can get
someone
dirty.
told me to go to Old Navy recently, which I never considered because I actually went jean shopping recently and went in PacSun, Tilly's, American Eagle, and Hot Topic, and I couldn't find a single pair of jeans that fit me properly.
Okay.
That's always been the curse I bear when I go pants shopping because my legs are a little, my legs aren't oddly shaped, but my legs are shorter than my torso. So I had this weird thing where my waist and leg length of the pants is really complicated at times, and it always slightly varies depending on where I go shopping.
Yeah, same.
And that's why I find a pair of jeans and wear them for years until there's holes riddled in them, like natural holes, not the kind that I've bought with like damage done to them, but damage I create myself. And then I have to inevitably find a new pair because I hate having holes in my pants. So I am currently wielding my black jeans that I've worn basically daily for the last year. And it's just only a matter of time till holes start appearing in them. So I'm kind of panicking to find a new pair of pants.
So do you suggest Old Navy then? I have one close to me.
Well, that's the thing. Someone told me to try Old Navy because they said they found a couple good pairs there, but I've yet to go look for myself. So I'm going to find out soon.
I might go try that tonight.
Okay. I'd love to go with you if I could, but as I mentioned, I'll be working to the wee hours of the morning. So I'm going to cry about that while you go pants shopping.
Okay. I'll be thinking of you. Every time I take my pants off.
Squeeze in a shopping date with you in addition to any meal or video content we may do. And of course, a movie date.
Yeah. I'd love that.
In time, Jacob, I trust we will be reunited in some fashion.
We better make it happen.
We will.
I'm going to be dead inside if we don't.
I am more eager than ever. I'll say that. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes...
Sorry, my nose is... I'm about to sneeze.
Okay, there's a bout of silence that occurs on Skype, and since I can't see you, I can never tell if you've left me or not. Left me to die.
That's the downside.
Well, Jacob, considering the fact that there doesn't seem to be anything even remotely interesting going on in our lives, how would you like to jump into the news?
I'd love that, man. Why don't you bring us in?
Jacob, well, not Jacob, you know this, but to anyone listening who doesn't already know this is the It's Obvious podcast where my best friends and I gather every single week to discuss video games, movies, TV shows. That's pretty much it, but all kinds of stuff, sometimes feces, sometimes our love for one another, and many other things, but this is the It's Obvious podcast, as I mentioned. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and many other services. You can tune in there or on YouTube for the video version weekly, and... yeah, we have a Discord channel. I'm very, very, very bad at the intro. I've never done either the community question intro or this intro the same way twice. So at least
that's what keeps it exciting.
Time, but I have no idea what else to say. Welcome to the podcast. We're happy to have you, especially if you're new. Encourage you to, of course, continue to tune in, comment down below, and join us on Discord where all the fun happens. But that being said, Jacob, my water bottle just popped. Let's do the news.
All right, let's do it. Hey, man, what's the news?
There's only one news story, Jacob, and even as a pretty significant Doom fan, it doesn't interest me that much, but it comes from Jeremy Winslow of GameSpot. He says id Software's Doom is leaving the fiery pits of hell and making its way to the television screens. American television company USA Network has ordered a TV pilot for Masters of Doom, produced by brothers Dave and James Franco. Masters of Doom is a 2003 nonfiction book written by Rolling Stone contributing editor David Kushner. I can't read on my phone. I apologize, Jacob. Where am I at? I already lost my place. It recounts the story of id Software co-founders John Carmack and John Romero, best friends turned bitter rivals as they create one of the most influential first-person shooters in gaming, Doom. Deadline reports that the Masters of Doom, whose television script is being written by Tom Bissell, who wrote Gears of War Judgment, Batman Arkham Origins, Battlefield Hardline, is an anthology series. Dave and James Franco's production company Ramona Films will produce the series alongside the Gotham Group, who produced Abduction and The Maze Runner. Universal Content Productions, Mr. Robot, and The Umbrella Academy is also attached. No further details are known, including casting announcements and release date. So that sounds kind of cool. I'm a bit confused as whether or not it's going to be like a dramatization of that story or if it's going to be like a documentary type TV show. It was not quite clear in the article.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's kind of cool. And I mean, we didn't really necessarily get the entirety of its history and No Clips documentary they did about Doom 2016. But this story in particular would definitely be cool to see on screen. Whether it's dramatized or if it's documentary based, I'm not sure. But regardless, sounds pretty cool to me. How do you feel about it, Jacob? And also, have you finished Doom?
I forgot to mention that. I did finish Doom last week. Great game. Really awesome. Great game.
I'm glad you finally played it.
I think the soundtrack is definitely, I'm just going to echo what you guys said, like one of the best soundtracks ever, probably. Like I absolutely love it, man. It's every, high intensity moment was complemented with just equally intensified music. And it was just like, it just made the moments even better. And that final boss fight, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Cyber Demon?
Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. So sorry if you haven't played Doom. If you waited longer than I have, then you've kind of, I don't know what's wrong with you because I waited way too long. But I love how you just stick the big old BFG right in the fucker's mouth at the end, dude. You just blow him up. Nothing.
You just blow him up.
You just blow him up, brother. And it's a sight to see. Really enjoyed that.
Truly satisfying moment, to say the least.
But yeah, I think a TV series could be cool. I don't know how I would approach this in the Doom universe. I definitely don't know what I would do. But what would you like? Like, what's something you really want to see from the Doom universe in a TV show? I don't really know.
Honestly, like I said, whether it's documentary or if it's dramatized, I would be fine with either. Yeah. So I don't really have a preference. So either way sounds cool. So
I think I would like more of like a dramatized story, I think.
Could be cool.
Some kind of made up story. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously be based on the truth, maybe exaggerated a bit, which typically stories that are dramatized like that are. But that would be awesome. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
And based on the production companies and writers involved with this show, it sounds like it would be made to be a drama.
Yeah.
So
yeah, with what was it they made? Mr. Robot and Umbrella
Mr.
Academy.
Robot and Umbrella. Yep. So that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sick, man. Jacob, that brings us to our main topic of the week, which which will hopefully fuel some sort of discussion. Game of the year so far for 2019.
Oh boy,
what do you got for me?
What do you want? Do you want a number one? Do you want like a top three? Do you want a top five?
I would say your number one, and of course a couple honorable mentions that stick out to you that are truly contenders, but one that you think, of course, sticks out among the rest.
Okay. So I have like a few that I've really enjoyed playing this year, but it's hard for me to really like pick one.
Oh, Apex Legends, dude.
That's one of them. Believe it or not, that's one of them. I think like I'm having a hard time deciding between Resident Evil 2 remake and then also remastered. And then also Kingdom Hearts 3. I enjoyed both of those a lot. I think in the end I'm going to pick RE2 because that's a game that I went in like I remember at the beginning of the year, Garrett, I wasn't even going to play that game. And through just constant, social media clamor and, you and Preston talking about it sometimes and just people in the Discord also being excited about it. I kind of just, thought it was a game that I wanted to play and that I wanted to stream. That was a big factor for it too. and I played that right when I started streaming, and it was really like it was a really good stream game, I think, because I was there playing it. You could see my live reactions. It was not a too long of a game, so I could complete it in a couple streams, and I just really enjoyed it, man. And having not played like the original RE2, like I can't like compare it to how it used to be, but just the product that was released this year, and just in itself, I think it's a really complete package of a game, and I really enjoyed it. And honestly, that's probably my game of the year so far. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But I mentioned Kingdom Hearts 3. That would be an honorable mention for me. It's weird saying that Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't like my game of the year, because I do love that series so dearly, which is no secret to anyone that watches our podcasts, somewhat frequently. That's heard me talk about Kingdom Hearts before. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 had some problems in terms of its pacing. Some of like the Disney worlds didn't seem that significant in terms of them mattering to the story at all. I know that's kind of how they always been, but I kind of like just expected them to make some sort of leaps in terms of making them matter this time around, and they didn't do that. I wasn't a huge fan of all the Keyblades. I know that's such like a weird gimmicky thing to like want to have better in a game, but the Keyblades are a big part of the game in my opinion, and I just didn't really like the designs that much. But that's a very minuscule and like personal problem. But I think overall the story was good in Kingdom Hearts 3. I wasn't crazy about the very ending, but I'm excited there's DLC that's going to be coming later this year. I think that they announced at E3 at the Square press conference, so it'll be cool to see how they kind of continue the story in whatever the way they choose to do. I don't know what they're going to do. But and then Apex Legends was the final game that I wanted to talk about. And I don't really want to sit here and talk about it that much, honestly, because I've talked about it almost every single podcast. But that game continues to keep me to keep my attention. It's sort of like has that Overwatch or WoW effect, or Destiny for that matter, effect on me, where I just want to keep playing the game, keep getting better at it, keep getting more stuff. Although I have hit a wall where I'm not really earning anything anymore in the game. I'm just kind of playing to get better, which is still satisfying in itself for me. But yeah, that's all I really want to say about it. And like once again, I'm really excited for season 2. And just the fact that, this is like it's not like a living, breathing world, but it's like it's an online service game. It's a free game. There's going to be constantly new people jumping in because it's free. There's going to be constant content throughout the year. So it's going to be a game that's always on my mind. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of the year, it becomes my game of the year, depending on what they do with the seasons. So that's nice. That's sort of my little game of the year spiel. I think RE2 remastered is my top pick. I also really enjoyed before you go. I really did enjoy Devil May Cry 5 too, but not nearly as much as those other games. And I think
there's still much I need to play, for being honest.
Yeah, you have a lot of catching up to do.
Yes, I do.
I played the Division 2 this year also, but I didn't enjoy it that much. I don't know why. I don't think it's my kind of game. Yeah. I think I played something else too, but I don't even remember what it was. So it must not have been that important.
Yeah.
But
do you have any predictions as to what the remainder of the year? We have a few notable titles coming. What do you think may overcome, let's say, Resident Evil 2 for you?
Death Stranding. I'm expecting big things from that title. I was about to say Super Pokemon. Pokemon's Sword and Shield.
Cool.
I think I'm expecting high things from that. I'm gonna be playing Fire Emblem 3 Houses on the Switch when it comes out. I think it comes out a day before my birthday. I'm not expecting like that to overtake anything, but I just want to say that I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to see what the whole Fire Emblem series is about. I think this is a good jumping in point on the Switch. I'm excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. That could potentially be in my, game of the year discussion. And Astral Chain from Platinum Games, makers of Nier. So I'm expecting high things from that game. Have you seen gameplay for Astral Chain?
I have. I think Preston told me to look into that.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week, actually, but that game looks really cool. So
yes, it does.
I'm excited for it to come out in August. And obviously, the Destiny DLC, maybe that'll just knock it out of the park with this new vision that Bungie's created. I'll be playing Borderlands 3. Maybe I'll really enjoy that too. But I think those are the big ones for me. I know I'm just kind of mentioning every game that's coming out this fall, but those are the ones I have my eyes on.
Well, cool, Jacob, and thanks for sharing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely really good picks on your end. Believe it or not, I've only played a couple of games in their entirety this year. And with heavy consideration, I've determined that Crackdown 3 is probably my game of the year so far.
Yeah.
It was a huge it was a huge surprise for me because as I know, we regard the Xbox One as a glorified footstool, but
yes,
I was thrust back into that footstool to review Crackdown 3 for COD Connected, which is a great honor in spite of the game itself. But graphically, it was truly groundbreaking for this generation. The open world was by far the most interesting to explore. Gameplay was silky smooth, and overall, I think the story hit me emotionally more than even the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2, and even the ending of Last of Us, the ending of Red Dead Redemption 1. So it's going to go down in not only my game of the year so far for 2019, but possibly the game of the generation.
Wow.
So...
that's high praise.
With that being said, let's move on to community questions. Ladies and
yes.
I did not like that game at all. The only other game I played in its entirety was Resident Evil 2, so it is currently my game of the year so far. I adored it at the time, and I actually made what I consider to be one of my better videos for COD Connected, and one of my favorite videos I've ever worked on, titled 10 Things. I think it's called 10 Things I Love About Resident Evil 2. I think that's the title of it. And it only got like roughly 1,000 views, and I poured my heart and soul and so much time into that video, and I was pretty proud of that one, but no one watched it, which is kind of disappointing. But I really went all in on Resident Evil 2, which is funny to say that because I only played through it once. I'd still like to play through it multiple times, of course, to get the full scope of the story and the whole gameplay experience. But the one time I played was enough to warrant my liking toward it, and it being game of the year so far for me. Games that I think that could easily overcome it for me are Doom Eternal, maybe Death Stranding. It's funny, I'm definitely totally interested in Death Stranding now that we saw that gameplay trailer and some of Kojima's explanations on social media, but I'm still not entirely sure if it's going to be as amazing as I'm sure most of us are hoping it will be.
Yeah.
I feel bad for not having that much faith in Kojima, but I'm only in that place because I've only ever played Metal Gear Solid 5. And although I thoroughly enjoy that game, I haven't played enough of Kojima titles to have just blind faith in the man. Not to say that anyone has blind faith, but for me it feels blind to be like, oh, Death Stranding is going to be amazing no matter what. But from what little we've seen, I'm interested. I don't know if it'll overcome Resident Evil 2 or Doom Eternal for me, but I think without a shadow of a doubt, if Doom Eternal was the only other game I was going to play this year, I think it'll undoubtedly take my spot for Game of the Year over Resident Evil, but I intend on playing as much as I can for the rest of the year. I'm trying to think of anything else major aside from what you mentioned that's coming out.
I forgot to mention Doom Eternal.
Yeah, that's huge for me. I'm very excited for that. Yeah. Oh yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think that could be a sleeper hit because from what we're hearing about the campaign, it could be really, really strong.
Yeah, seems like it's a controversial
question about
take.
Call of Duty in particular, but from what little I've heard, it sounds very, very interesting for a glorified reboot of that Call of Duty franchise. So I'm very interested in that. I mean, I'm always interested in Call of Duty every year, but I'm hoping, as far as the campaign is concerned, it's if not as good as Infinite Warfare, even better. And it sounds like the shift in tone could be a big part in achieving that. Mm-hmm. And of course, multiplayer, I hope it's some sort of an evolution, because as much as I love Call of Duty, and I'm never going to shit on Call of Duty because I still think it's solid every year. Yeah. I still hold out hope they're going to do something relatively drastic in terms of changing things up.
Yeah.
And I understand Activision's. I don't know what it would be, because I don't know if it'd be game mode or mechanics. I'm pretty sure the new Call of Duty is developed on a new engine, if I'm not mistaken, and I can't remember what engine that is. And maybe I'm confusing that with Halo Infinite's engine. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I could have sworn I read somewhere that the next Modern Warfare is being developed in a different engine. So new engines always play a difference in how a game typically feels mechanically. So I mean, that's the thing. That's the problem with Call of Duty. It's mechanically so flawless that there's no. I mean, that would be the most foolish thing to do, to change it mechanically.
True.
Unless you just add on mechanics that some may deem unnecessary to the game. I don't know.
Because I feel like they've tried that though with the operators. You know, like the Destiny.
Right, and
thing.
that's sort of been like they're dipping their toe into what it would be like to have, of course, abilities. And of course, we've had minor ones like the slide ability that have been added, or even like the dolphin dive from the Black Ops series. So. Yeah. It's hard to say what they could do. I just think probably tonally could help Call of Duty a lot, making it feel a bit different. And I don't know. I mean, aside from that, that's all I can really hope for, is that in some shape or form, there feels like there's a very significant change that's come to the franchise. So I think sleeper hit for me could possibly be Call of Duty this year.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm crapping my pants for Doom, and I have the utmost faith in Mick Gordon to produce a soundtrack that's even better than the original. So I like to think of it as like his sophomore electronic metal album to Doom. Like I like to think, I mean, he's produced countless soundtracks for video games, but I like to think of Doom as like his like what would you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? His magnum opus of soundtracks, and I like to think of this as the obvious sequel to said album. So I'm excited. You can kind of hear a new track in the most recent gameplay demo, but it's so buried in like the audio mix that I'm one of those guys that, I mean, as much as I love the sound design in Doom of like the demons and the weapons, I like to crank that down a bit and have the music reside just a bit higher than the action. Yeah. Because the tunes are just so good. So
I got you.
Yeah. But I think that's all I can really say about Game of the Year, because obviously I've only played a couple of games all the way through, which is sad to say. Many I have to catch up on, so my list may change a bit towards the end of the year. But so far, from what I've played, I've really enjoyed this year. So technically, you could say Hunt Showdown's a release in 2019 because its full version releases in August.
It's true.
So I may use that as an excuse at the end of the year to bring that into discussion.
Now's my chance.
Yeah, my time has come. So it'll be a fun Game of the Year discussion, I'm certain, at the end of the year. So
for sure,
a lot to look forward to.
I thought this was kind of going to be a down year, but definitely the beginning of this year was really, big with all these releases. But there's definitely a lot of cool stuff to be excited for at the end of this year, especially on the Nintendo front.
Absolutely. This is kind of funny. This is random.
Okay.
Racevic who is kind of how I was introduced to COD Connected, and I randomly clicked on his Halo 2 14 years later video that I hadn't watched in a very long time.
Okay.
Just to watch something while I was eating the other day. And the first 2 minutes or so, Joseph Staten, who was, I think, the community manager or something on Crackdown 3, I didn't realize he was one of the original developers for Halo 2.
Okay.
And so that's pretty cool, knowing that I interviewed him for Crackdown, but also knowing that he was one of the original creators of one of the most legendary first-person shooters of all time, at least in my eye and many people's eyes. But I thought that was pretty cool because I did not know he was involved with Halo 2. And it was similar to when I had a group interview with Bungie at, I think it was PAX last year. Yeah. And two of the original Halo 2 and 3 developers were on that team talking about the changes coming to Destiny. So that was also really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Even in spite of... I mean, I enjoyed Destiny, but knowing that those guys had their hands on Halo was really cool to me. So, yeah, that's random, but something I thought I'd throw in there.
That's cool.
But Jacob, I think unless there's anything else you have to add, that is, I know it's pretty minor, but from what I'm sure Preston could chime in a lot because I know Preston's played, I think more than both of us, considering how much he's been traveling. He's been playing a lot of Switch stuff.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to see what he's been playing. If he's going to be on next week, like you said.
I assume he's going to have a lot to say to us when he is finally back. So I know the community's awaiting his return as well. So I hope that he can join us. Next week. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Title of that episode will just be Preston's back.
The return of Poobah.
Yeah.
Poobah returns.
Poobah Jones.
So I'm excited for that. But Jacob,
yes,
I think we can consider this episode 205, a pseudo Ask IOG episode.
Okay.
Because we have quite a few community questions to fill up the lack of news and our minor Game of the Year discussion, which I feared may be the case, but I thought it was fun nonetheless. So I've included more questions than usual to fill up the time and hopefully get through some of our backlog of questions we built up.
Mm-hmm.
But ladies and gentlemen, that being said, this is the community question segment of the It's Obvious podcast. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who write in every single week to fuel this part of the podcast. As we've always said, it is our favorite part of the each and every episode because we can connect with you directly, answer all kinds of fun, random questions that always spice up the conversation. So if you'd like your questions read on the show, you can reach us in one of three places. You can email us at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming or submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. Now, always include the hashtag AskIOG if you want your questions read live, because we would hate to accidentally read your private messages. That would be awful. It's happened a couple of times, and of course, I've been ashamed and humiliated, and I'd hate to live through that again because I cry in the shower for hours on end when that happens. So trying to avoid that. But that being said, Jacob, the first one comes from Bear Commando.
Okay.
Bear Commando says, okay, boys, I have a simple 5-word idea that could change everything. Google Stadia on Nintendo Switch.
What?
Built-in controllers and your entire gaming library is portable, assuming you have Wi-Fi. Discuss?
Isn't that what the phone's for?
I'm fairly certain that's what it's for. I'm going to be honest, I know very little about Google Stadia, so I cannot chime in on whether or not this even makes sense at all.
Okay. Well, what would you like to know about it?
I know that it's Google's like streaming gaming service,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
So, and I know you can purchase a controller to go with it, and
Correct. The Founders Edition.
I assume it's compatible with Google's phones.
Yeah, I think it's going to be when it launches on Google phones, Google Chrome on like a web browser, and then also computers, obviously. But I don't know. Like, obviously, it's not going to be on iPhone yet. Like, it's going to be like a slow rollout on those other platforms. And I think, like, are there Google TVs, or like, is there some other sort of Google device?
I can tell you, Jacob, I'm out of the
Google
loop
device,
on Google products.
like, it'll be on that has a screen.
Okay.
So if they have TVs, then those two.
We'll see if it pays off for them.
Yeah, actually, I think they have they have like a little box, sort of like an iHome, I think, but what's it called? It's like a Google, it's like a little receiver kind of thing. And I think you can just like I think when you buy the Founders Edition, you get the controller and you get that little thing, and you plug it into your TV, maybe. And I think you just play games that way. I might be wrong.
Interesting.
Someone that knows more about Google Stadia, leave a comment, please.
I think it'd be odd if Nintendo teamed up with Google to house Google Stadia within the Nintendo Switch itself.
Yeah.
I can't see that happening. It's a cool idea, I guess, but I highly doubt that would ever be the case.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, but Bear, we appreciate your question nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Following it up, Jacob Walters writes in and says, "What's up, Doom Slayers, Gwent players, and taxpayers?" I don't know if that's to each of us or all of us. I'm certainly not a Gwent player, I'll tell you that much.
Well, you've played Gwent before.
I do miraculously pay my taxes, and I often owe way more than I receive because I'm technically self-employed, which is always depressing.
I usually always receive.
Yeah, I'm not on that end of the stick, Jacob, and it's quite unfortunate. But he says, first off, I respect the hell out of you boys for the grind you guys go through every week and still getting the podcast out. It means the world. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for your support, my friend. We will always do this for as long as we live, should it not kill us in the end. So I don't have a question, it's more of a request. Just talk shit about your favorite game of all time. For example, God of War PS4 is the biggest piece of shit ever to appear on a console. Kratos has the sex appeal of a forest fire, and the combat is worse than Skyrim's. Just kidding, of course. Hopefully you guys can make this funny. Sorry for the length. Peace. Also, I suck at Sekiro. Jacob, that makes two of us. That's something else I need to play. Talk shit about, how about, let's make this interesting. Our current favorite game. Talk shit about it, Jacob.
Current favorite game?
Yep.
Well, mine never changes.
Is that WoW?
Yeah, WoW.
Okay.
World of Warcraft is the biggest piece of shit I have ever laid eyes on. Its art sucks. It's like a 12-year-old game. It's not even worth playing anymore. The updates in the game suck now. There's no content that's worth. There's no meaningful content anymore in the game. Everything's just, you pay $25, you get a new mount. There's too many microtransactions in a MMO that has a subscription service. The Blizzard team has really lost their touch. They don't know what makes a good MMO anymore.
You may be kidding, Jacob, but many would argue the Blizzards overall lost their touch. In reality.
That's where a lot of my inspiration comes from.
Nice.
From what other people say. But I'm just kidding, obviously. I still love WoW. I do think they've made some missteps. But, they're humans. Everyone makes mistakes, Garrett. Does Blizzard try to maybe squeeze their audience for some extra money every once in a while? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Garrett.
Yeah, maybe they do.
But I still love them to death, okay? Blizzard fanboy for life.
I understand that, Jacob. Well, on the other hand, Hunt Showdown is probably the worst game I've ever played in my life.
It is, yeah, you're right.
It's based in a time period that no one cares about. It's based in the bayou of Louisiana, which is just a glorified swamp. I mean, who gives a shit, honestly? You have to have a rig from outer space to run the game at a constant, steady frame rate, which is just asinine. I mean, I get that Crytek is known for their visuals. Mechanically, fine, I guess, but visually, they've always wowed everyone, of course, notably with Crysis. But going into Hunt Showdown, it is so visually breathtaking that even on the lowest settings, it can still stutter at times, which is just infuriating. There are no female characters, which just enrages me. I mean, it's 2019. I mean, give me a break. You're telling me a young lady can go out there and slay giant monsters and wield gigantic firearms? You're not kidding anyone, Crytek.
You're not.
Anyway. It's incredibly repetitive. You fight the same monsters, you fight the same bosses every match. You typically have similar firefights with everyone you encounter. It is quite unforgiving, and I'm a little bitch, Jacob. So I whine like a baby when I die in the game. I blame everyone but myself every time. It's always everyone else's fault. It's never ever been my fault. So,
what's funny is that sounds like me playing a multiplayer game.
Yeah. I hate it. It's leaving early access in August, and honestly, that's just an embarrassment because it's been in development for well over, I mean, at least in early access for well over a year, and that's just, you're asking for freebies when you're in early access that long. I mean, granted, it was $30, which is, I'd say about $29 too expensive. So at the end of the day, it can burn in hell along with all the bosses I've sent there. And I hope it never sees the light of day after it launches. I hope everyone forgets about it.
You know, it's weird. That's how I feel about it too.
Yeah. Jacob, if we're being honest, I'm sure that's how many people feel about it. In all honesty, everything I said was partially true, but thankfully, to play devil's advocate here, my rig can handle it just fine on medium settings. I can play on high, but like a between 55 and 70 frames. But I like to have that constant 90 to 100, so I play in medium.
Gotcha.
Still looks super pretty. It is running smoother than ever, which is wonderful. What's fascinating is that yes, you're on the same two maps. Yes, you fight or sometimes between 1 to 2 bosses a match, and there's only 3 bosses. It has still managed to be a rather dynamic experience for me every single time. And that's why I keep coming back to it, because the firefights are always pulse pounding, and there's always so much on the line with every single fight you're in, and it's just thrilling because of that. I've had so many cool, it can be an action game, it can be a stealth game, it can be a horror game, it can be a survival game. And those are the elements that I love so much, and I've always loved period pieces. So that's just the cherry on top of all the gameplay aspects I love about it. It's just the time period and the setting, the lore surrounding it is so cool.
Yeah.
So it is just the total package for me as far as being a PvE gameplay experience. So that is why I am passionately in love with Hunt Showdown, and hopefully it can. We can create, between you and I'm hoping we can create some sort of polyamorous relationship where Hunt Showdown is involved with us. I think that would be most beneficial and lead to a very happy and fulfilling life for the two of us.
You just want to use me to have someone to play with and hunt.
No, dude, that's not at all what I'm saying. I swear. It's just really cool, and I think you would like it.
That's the only reason you're doing this podcast.
Dude, no, it's not. I'm not trying to pitch. I'm not trying to drag everyone into my cult that is Hunt Showdown. I swear.
I'm on to you.
Dude, that's not the case. It sucks. I just told you how much it sucks. No one play it, please.
Oh yeah, okay, as long as you were honest.
Jacob, I hope that was satisfying, man. It was a lot of fun, and it also pained me to say all those things that I don't mean about Hunt Showdown, even though a lot of people probably think that.
It's
good, I swear. Join me in my love for that game, someone, please. Ace of Spades, you and I will play on Xbox if we have to. Boggle, if you're listening, man, you and I need to team up again. It's high time. I'm back on there fairly often. Baked Jake 23 writes in and says, I just recently played Infinite Warfare again, and I am blown away. I played it in 2016 and thought it wasn't that good, but I gave it a second chance after years of listening to you beautiful men praising it. Easily the best campaign since Black Ops 1. So, is there a game you guys didn't give a fair shot and then came back to and loved it? All right, I'll go Doomfist myself now. Peace and love, boys. And peace and love to you, Jake. Thank you for the question, and I'm glad to hear that you thoroughly enjoyed Infinite Warfare upon playing it a second time. Careful doomfisting yourself. It's something I've dabbled in on my own time and my private time, and it has resulted in a bloody massacre, and I'm lucky to be speaking to you today. So tread lightly with your doomfist there. But Jacob, is there a game you've stepped away from and gone back to and enjoyed upon returning to it?
Yeah, recently Octopath. Played probably about 20, 30 hours of it. Wasn't really feeling it, stepped away from it for about a year, then I came back to it earlier, a couple months ago. Actually about a month ago. And really enjoying it now. Probably over halfway through it. So really loving it, man. And then I guess
the only one?
I didn't try Doom before I played it this summer, but it's a game that I just put off because I wasn't really in the mood to play it. But still ended up really enjoying that game.
I'm glad to hear, Jacob. Are there any other ones you've kind of had that experience with in the past?
I think I waited to play Nier, but it was also another case where I didn't like play it and then put it down. Typically, when I pick up a game and play it, I'm usually in it for the long haul. I don't try something and then not finish it. Not only because I spent like probably $60 on the game, but also, I don't know, I just like to complete things that I start. Even if like I don't completely enjoy it, like I give it at least, a fair shake. And I'm not too picky in terms of like what I'll play. So I end up liking most things that I play. And if I don't, then I don't even buy it. What about you?
Well, there's this one game, I can't remember the title of it. There's this game I played back in the day that was like plagued with technical errors. Mm-hmm. And it hardly functioned at the time. I'm trying to remember the title of it. It was a first-person shooter. And had really interesting lore and multiplayer. And then I went back to it, and it's working really, really well now. And it's leaving early access. Oh, it's called Hunt Showdown is what it's called. I totally forgot the title of it.
I think I've heard of that.
Just kidding. I think I will have that experience with Persona 5 when I get back to it eventually. I know that's probably going to be a myth that exists forever that Garrett may or may not return to.
Dude, just wait for the new version that comes out.
Is it Persona 5, what's it called again? Royale?
Yeah, Royale.
Persona 5 Royale with cheese?
I think it's Royal, okay.
I may have that experience there. I had that experience with Master Chief Collection because at launch the multiplayer was atrocious and is now functioning beautifully, and I'm partially addicted to it, and I will definitely be dabbling as soon as I can again.
It's a good one.
Anyone on Xbox that has it, please join me. I'd love to hop into Warthog with you and blast everyone to bits. Sounds like a lot of fun. What's another one I've had that experience with? I know there's some. Oddly enough, with the original Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I played the campaign and played about 2 matches of multiplayer and it didn't click with me initially. And Preston called me like a week into playing the multiplayer and said he was totally addicted and I was an idiot for selling the game. I had actually taken the game back to GameStop. So I went to pick it up again, and of course the rest is history because I've played that game religiously in every Call of Duty since then, pretty substantially. So that was one that I'd stepped away from and realized how foolish I was. And
you still are a fool.
It. Yeah, and I forgot that Modern Warfare Remastered is on PS4.
It is.
So I kind of want to try that again. That's attached to, which Call of Duty is that attached to? Infinite Warfare, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Cool. Well, I can't think of anything else at the moment. I'm sure there's more.
Okay.
But those are ones that are sticking out to me for now.
Okay.
Well, Jake, thank you for your question, my friend. Marble Chicken writes in and says, I know you guys aren't the biggest Zelda fans, but I've been playing Cadence of Hyrule, a Zelda-themed crypt of the Necrodancer, and I'm having a blast. My question for you guys is, with the success of a Zelda-themed game like this not coming from Nintendo, is there any other developer or genre you'd like to see try their hand in the Zelda universe? I saw something online saying the creators of Cuphead wanted to give it a go. Let me know what you think. P.S. Never leave me alone that long again. My drives were lonely. Well, Marble Chicken, I'm sorry for leaving you alone on the road, and we are back to fill your vehicle with our voices, at the very least. I keep knocking this headphone out. Jacob, what's a developer and/or what was the word he used? Genre you'd like to see Zelda dabble in?
You mean like what developer would I like to see make a Zelda?
Yeah, developer and/or a genre, like gameplay genre that Zelda's yet to participate in.
Okay. I think it would be cool if someone like maybe CG Project Red attempted Zelda, maybe. I could see them really taking an interesting spin on Zelda in terms of like storytelling that I really want to see.
Probably be a real raunchy Zelda tale.
Yeah, exactly. Which I guess, that might be weird in some cases, but I don't know. I think they're really
just
talented
imagine
developers.
Link making love to one of those. What do they call them? Like cocoa seed creatures from Breath of the Wild.
Korok.
What are they called? Like an orgy with those things in the forest. That's probably what the CD Projekt Red version of Zelda would be.
Yeah.
Or that big maraca wielding.
It's kind of cool because there's
seed
already a team at Ubisoft that's making that Greek inspired game that kind of looks like Zelda Breath of the Wild in terms of its art design. So it kind of seems like they're trying to attempt a Zelda-like game, but I know that's not the question. So maybe that team ends up doing a good job on that, and maybe it'd be cool if they worked on Zelda at some point.
They're called Korok seeds, forgive me.
Yeah. What I'm trying to think of like a style of game that I would like in the Zelda universe that we don't have yet.
Yes, we've had like top down. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, Zelda.
They've always been RPG.
It's mostly been like, well, yeah, RPG in a way, but also like action adventure dungeon crawlery, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I mean, I don't know if a card game would be interesting. I never really gotten into card games aside from Hearthstone.
Card games, don't say that. What about like a Diablo style dungeon crawler kind of game from the Zelda?
Like universe? A multiplayer style?
Yeah, like you could pick between Link, Zelda, and some other characters in the universe to play.
It'd be like Hyrule Warriors, but with a Diablo spin on it, sort of.
Yeah, kind of, exactly. Then you could have different levels and different worlds. You could do some really cool boss fights with Ganon in particular at the end. I could see that being really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think any notable RPG developer could take the Zelda lore and turn it into some sort of interesting RPG, whether it be linear or open world. But in terms of genre, I don't think you could really do horror with Zelda and it'd be interesting.
It kind of seems like the new Breath of the Wild sequel might have some.
I mean,
horror
Majora's
elements.
Mask has elements of like disturbing imagery and horror, I guess, but I mean, not full on to where you're like shitting your pants playing Zelda.
Sure.
But, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, you can do some creepy stuff with Ganon, I imagine, and his evil entity. I mean, Calamity Ganon is pretty intimidating, but rather easy boss fight.
Yeah, it was
under the circumstances.
It was an easy game,
but a very fun game.
Yeah.
Although I did get bored after playing it for an hour. I think it's because I've experienced just about everything you can do in that game. So I was not totally interested in playing again. I wish there was a new game plus for Breath of the Wild. I'd probably be more interested at that point.
I thought there was.
I could have sworn there was. I think Master Mode is like super hard difficulty. I don't think that's New Game Plus. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I should look into it.
And then they added that tower, or not tower. It was they had like some sort of wave system in the first DLC, right?
Yeah.
I forgot what that was. I think it's like how you power up the Master Sword.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like those three, different. It's like multiple stages. I think it's like 20 plus. Maybe it's more. It's like 50 stages in each tower or whatever.
You can't die or something.
Yeah, that was actually really fun. I never completed all three of them. I think I completed the first two, but the third one I never completed.
I never even tried it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know that the sword has that constant blue hue to it if you complete all of them, which is cool, like entirely powered up.
Yeah.
That was a cool, unique DLC. I like that a lot. And of course, the final, what was it called? Champions of Ballad of the Champions, whatever it's called.
Ballad of the Champions.
I reviewed that for COG and was really satisfied with that.
I enjoyed that.
A freaking dirt bike at the end.
Yeah, I love the dirt bike.
Yeah, the Master Cycle Zero.
I hope that makes a return in the sequel.
Reserved for only the most legendary heroes in Hyrule. We'll see if it makes a return in the Breath of the Wild sequel.
What should be like a $14.99 DLC in the next sequel?
Right.
Damn
or
you,
maybe
Nintendo.
If you were able to unlock it, maybe it carries over to the sequel.
I
can imagine they'll call it Breath of the Wild too. I'm sure they'll have a new title for it.
Breath of the...
But whatever it is, we do know that it is confirmed to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which is exciting.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about Zelda. We've had fighting games with Link and Zelda in them. We've had racing games. We've had
Hack and slash.
Yeah, we've had like the top-down style, the 3D style, the open world. I mean, we kind of like experienced everything. So at this point, it really come down to what developers could do to make it interesting. So like I said, you could go with Bethesda Game Studios. You could go with Obsidian. I'm sure there's a number of indie studios that could probably tackle it. And also, of course, CD Projekt Red. But that'd probably be the most interesting spin on any genre. But
you know what could be super cool? It would be like a Zelda maker, kind of like Mario Maker, but you could literally just make your own Zelda game.
Dungeons and stuff?
Yeah. I know in the new Zelda that's coming out on Switch, Link's Awakening, there's going to be like dungeons that you can make and customize, but it'd be cool if you could just go ahead and make a whole Zelda game on its own.
Someone may do that in Dreams on PS4 when you think about it.
Yeah, maybe.
And may not even call it Zelda. Either they'll recreate a beloved Zelda title or they will make their own original.
They can call it Zeldor. And
Zeldor.
Not get
Zorldo,
copyright.
please.
Zorldo.
The Legend of Zorldo. And Donkey King. Forgive me for the train noise, everyone, by the way. I apologize. It's quite obnoxious. Marble Chicken, thank you so much for your question. I'd love to hear anyone else's take on Zelda, who they think would handle it best in any genre that we may have overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome Jack writes in, and it was quite lengthy, so forgive me, Handsome Jack. I had to slim down your question, but I have all the question in there, but I do want to say I read every bit of it and thoroughly enjoyed the read. And congratulations on your new job. I'm glad to hear it's going well.
Congrats.
But he says at the beginning, hello, my absolutely extravagant boss. He says, do it, Garrett. It's my fetish. It's my fetish too, Handsome Jack. It says, how are you boys dealing with the hot and humid bullshit we call summer?
It sucks.
It's pretty brutal here.
It's
in
very
Georgia.
hot.
I know certain parts of the country and of course different parts of the world have it way worse than we do. But when we're rocking like 95 degrees plus humidity, it's pretty disgusting here.
Oh yeah.
But we're hanging in there. I want to go to a water park soon. Would you be down for that, Jacob?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I'd have time to go to a water park, but
I
we'll
really want
see.
to go back to Six Flags Whitewater. It's been so long. I used to go there so much as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. Goes on to say, all was peaceful until the Mosquito Nation attacked. And now we're fleeing in terror from the aerial assault of these bewinged terrorists. I picked up some anti-mosquito spray, which works wonders, but unfortunately smells like a rabid baboon's pile of refuse. So there's that. Now I'm curious. My inquiry of the week is about development and growth. What do you guys consider to be the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome in your life? If we're thinking about improving yourself and such, mine is when I conquered my 10-plus year of cynophobia, which proved to be a turning point in my life and has helped make me into the person I am today. What is one such hurdle for you guys in life that you've cleared proudly?
You want to go first?
I have to think about it for a bit.
Okay. I guess I'll go then. So there's a couple things. Two of the biggest hurdles in my life have been sort of like, I don't want to say like mental problems, but they've been like, I don't know, just here, let me just talk about them. How about that? So for those that don't know, I have two autistic brothers, which is, it's rare enough to have one. Just like, it's not, it is becoming more common as time goes on, but to have two of them, it's pretty irregular to say the least. And, I was always like, I don't want to say that I was always ashamed of having autistic brothers because they're not like normal brothers. Like they don't act like normal people because they have a condition. So I don't know, like just when like my family would go out in public, like growing up as a kid, I was always kind of not ashamed, but just like uncomfortable to be around other people. And I was like, felt like people were judging us, and they probably were because, we're not a normal family. And, my brothers were doing things that normal people don't do. So it just makes sense that, I would just naturally sort of feel uncomfortable. And it kind of took me a long time to sort of, just realize that it doesn't matter what other people think. And it only matters how I think and, that I appreciate them and that I obviously love them because they're my blood. And just like getting over that growing up was a huge accomplishment, I consider. And I love them to death, and I wouldn't change, how they are or, what I wish they could do in any way. I think they're great how they are. Then another one is going back to like me caring what other people think about me is another big thing for me. I used to live my life very on the cusp in terms of like if someone didn't like something that I did, like I thought that it was wrong. Like I would just base my life entirely on other people's opinions. And there came a day where I was tired of doing that, and I was tired of like trying to make myself happy by making other people happy around me, because I thought that's how I became happy. And then I don't know, just something clicked one day, and I just kind of realized that my own happiness is whatever I want it to be. And it doesn't matter. If someone around me isn't happy with what I'm doing or the choices that I'm making, then, if they can't accept like who I want to be or what I want to do, then, then maybe they're not that important in my life. So I would say those are two big hurdles in my life and they're more of like a mental thing. It's not like big accomplishments like oh, I graduated college, yay. Like, they were like, there's just sort of like things that have, helped me mentally and keep me sound. And I feel like I'm a better person for making or jumping those hurdles, I guess you could say.
Yeah, those are great. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Not that it was necessarily a hurdle, because I'm sure you enjoyed it to an extent, but you've crafted one of the finest bodies known to mankind. So that's also an obstacle you overcame, is the demand of physical activity to craft such a trophy-like physique.
Oh, thank you, Garrett. I'm very modest when it comes to like, I don't know, like just thinking that I like just spouting that I have like a great body. Like I don't know. I don't like to brag to other people because I don't know. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just I don't know. I'm just not comfortable bragging. It's never really been me. I've always been a really, really laid back and modest guy. So, but I appreciate you saying that.
Well, Jacob,
and I have worked hard to craft this physique.
Yes, I congratulate you for it, and I fantasize about it nearly every moment of every day. But I want you to know, Jacob, that in spite of whether or not you had, whether you had the great physique or not, I'd still love you all the same.
Oh, well, thank you, Garrett.
So, but that body does wonders for me. I'll leave it at that. Obstacles for me. I'm sure there are multiple ones I could think of. But two that come to mind are being willing to just take time to enjoy myself every once in a while, because I've realized over time I'm a bit of a workaholic for some reason.
Yeah.
And I just am addicted to always wanting to work on something. And I think it's due to like a minor anxiety that if I'm not working on something 24/7, I'm not going to like reach whatever career goals I've set before myself. And so I tend to let that haunt me quite a bit. But as a man of faith, I got to realize that the path that's laid out for me is not in my control. Of course, I make decisions and whatnot, but God, in my heart and in my mind, I truly believe that God has laid out a very specific path for me for the sake of his love and his kingdom. And obviously, whatever I do for a living and the people I meet and encounter are at the end of the day meant to be for him. So I have to pray and remind myself of that constantly, because I get in this habit of like, I got to constantly be working on something. I can't have any free time. I can't ever enjoy myself. I can't ever sleep, because if I don't work 24/7, I'm never going to reach whatever. I mean, my goals change from time to time. Whatever goal I'm currently thinking of, I just am hell-bent on achieving it in every way I possibly can. And that can obviously be a healthy thing in a lot of ways, but it can also be very unhealthy, as it was for me for the last 6 months. It was truly death. Sure. I'm lucky to be alive, I swear. I know people have had it way worse than I have, certainly, but that was definitely the hardest I've ever worked myself for the last 6 months. So being able to accept that it's okay to have free time every now and again has been something hard for me to accept for whatever reason. That isn't a huge obstacle, but that's one personal hurdle I've been trying to overcome recently.
No, I get that.
Notably, like waking up and playing Master Chief Collection for an hour or two before I go about my day is is quite nice.
Have you been getting more sleep?
Here and there, yeah. It depends on what I have going on. Like this weekend, I'm not sleeping at all, of course, but during the week, I get a decent amount of sleep, which is nice. Okay. Another one, as you guys know, back in, I think it was February or so, I was pretty upset about stuff going on in my life. And that was, I can say that I was truly, I don't know if I was clinically depressed, but emotionally and mentally, I felt like I was both depressed and riddled with anxiety, which are two things I have very moderately encountered in my life, but I've never really been bogged down by anxiety and depression ever before. But the situation that occurred in my life definitely threw me into that pit that feels like it's inescapable at times. And I went through a lot of emotional and mental hardship for about 5 or so months, like nonstop, just constantly. I mean, first thing I would think about when I wake up, it plagues me all day. Last thing I think about before I go to sleep. That haunted me for a long time. And I've since crawled out of that through the grace of God, honestly. And it's still, from time to time, will creep up on me, but I am far beyond where I was before. And I know many, many people out there still actively struggle with anxiety and depression. And while all of our experiences may not be exactly the same, I know we can all relate in some form or fashion of what that feels like in our own ways. And I had never really identified with people that feel that way all the time because I never made fun of anyone like that way, but I never truly understood what that could feel like because I'd never known like despair and the sense of betrayal and heartache that certain things can cause in life. That was a real trying time for me the last several months. So I'm happy to say that I have escaped that pit, thankfully. Not entirely, but mostly. So that's been a hurdle recently that I've had to overcome, which is I'm happy to say that it's not destroying me as it was for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know this is obviously, I've said this to you before, but if you ever want to talk about anything, man, I'm here for you.
Oh, likewise, Jacob. Yeah, again, I'm doing really well now, but
for
a while there, man, it was there were some dark days,
to
say the least. But and I know you can relate in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a good question, Anthem Jack. Got a little deep here. That's why we love community questions, because 1 minute we can talking about something completely ridiculous, the next we're talking about our innermost feelings. So that was a good one, man. Thank you. Carlos Perez writes in and says, Perez. He says, "What's your movie of the year so far?"
Movie of the year? I don't think I've seen that many movies. I know I've seen Godzilla. What's it called? King of the Monsters?
Yep.
Then I saw Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? I think that's all I've seen this year.
Wow.
Here, go over the movies that you've seen, then maybe I have seen them too. Tell me what you've seen.
The top three I wrote down. I know I've seen way more than this, but my top three contenders are John Wick Chapter 3, Endgame, and Toy Story 4. And I think Endgame takes the cake for many reasons, but Toy Story 4 is definitely a runner-up as far as movie of the year so far.
Mm-hmm. So does it have to be a movie that came out this year? Like movie of the year
so far.
Okay. I guess I would go with Endgame too, because I've only seen a couple, I think.
I can't imagine any movie topping Endgame for me, because that was such an achievement, and it's satisfied in every way for me. And now they have the re-release that's out currently as we speak, and I wish I had the time to go see it. One, because I want to help Marvel overcome Avatar at the box office. One sec, my alarm's going off.
Okay. This guy. Look at this dude. That's a loud alarm, man.
But
that was very loud.
Yeah, sorry. I had that set in case I fell asleep because I have to be back at work in less than an hour, which makes me want to throw up everywhere.
I'm sorry. Well, don't let me keep you too long.
That's all right. We're almost at the end here, but
yes, we are.
Those are my top three movies, I will say.
Gotcha, man.
So yeah, I'm so excited to see Spider-Man next week, though.
I am too. Seriously, like let's all see it together. Like I really want to do that.
That'd be great.
I'll try to keep my weekend somewhat open.
Of course. One more from Carlos. He says, "What is something that you guys wanted to see at E3 but wasn't, and hope gets an announcement later this year?"
I know what Preston wanted to see.
What's that?
Splinter Cell.
Oh, we technically saw Splinter Cell, just not close to the way we wanted to see it.
What do you mean we saw Splinter Cell?
Yeah, that Sam Fisher mobile game that's coming.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
I didn't even know about this.
I was not kidding when I said that last week, whatever week it was.
Okay. Crickets. Let's see. What did I want to see but didn't see? I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, the Harry Potter game from WB.
Yeah, that's a big one for me.
Where is that?
Actually, 2 WB titles. That and whatever Rocksteady's working on.
Yeah.
Those are the two for me.
I really want Rocksteady to work on Harry Potter. Like, that's what I want them to work on.
It very well could be. You never know. I mean, according to Jason Schreier, they are not working on Harry Potter, but Schreier knows something. He's not said anything about it. Yeah. But
kudos to him for not spoiling it.
I hope by the end of the year that if I had to pick one, I'd want to see more from the Harry Potter game.
You know, like as soon as like a leak goes out, that's right. He's going to confirm it because that's what he always does.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be some sort of Batman game, if I had to guess.
I hope it is. I hope Rocksteady's working on Batman, and I hope some other studios killing it with whatever they're doing with that Harry Potter thing we discussed quite in depth on YouTube.
I bet you those Superman games weren't wrong, but I think like maybe it just didn't pan out, and then they like maybe restarted on like a Batman game.
That would explain why whatever they're working on has been in development for a very long time.
Yeah. But hey, I hope it comes out, somewhat soon, and we get to see what they're working on.
I feel the same. This is random, but I don't have the time for this, but I really want to try Red Dead Online again because the way they've kind of revamped everything sounds so interesting to me. You can play different roles, and I really want to play as a bounty hunter online.
I want it to come out to PC.
So do I. I would play the absolute crap out of it on PC.
I don't know. Maybe one day we can jump back in together. Play RD.
Possibly.
RD, Red Dead, or RDR 2 online.
2. Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
I think it's just called Red Dead Online.
Okay. Oh, RDO.
But I think it'd be fun to be a couple of bounty hunters out there teaming up on some missions.
For sure.
That's cool. You can embrace like being like, oh, I want to be a trapper, and like you can be a trapper that actually sells trapper gear to other players, which is really cool.
Yeah,
there's different roles you can fill. I don't know who wouldn't want to be a bounty hunter of all things, but that's what I want to be.
Isn't there like a battle royale in it too? I thought I heard something.
There
about
is
that.
like a form of a battle royale game mode. Yeah,
it's got to be.
I can't
terrible.
remember what it's called. It's not like significant. It's like just in a random rotation of game modes, but there is technically a battle royale.
Huh.
So. Lastly, we have a question from Bahongales.
Hey, Bongles.
Kyle himself. Kyle writes in and says, with the recent expansion of Final Fantasy XIV dropping yesterday morning, I'm sure you all could tell I was excited. Me and my friend both made plans to play it when the patch went live at 5 a.m. And after we woke up and downed some energy drinks, we both proceeded to play for 8 hours. It's been single-handedly the smoothest launch I've ever participated in, and the content has been fantastic. Me and my friend had to have played 14 or 15 hours the first day. My question is, what content drop, either game or MMO, do you have fond memories of participating in? Taking time off of work, waking up early, or simply spending 90% of the day playing? You go first, Jacob.
Okay. I have a couple that are really fond to me. Actually, a few. Actually, I'll start with Destiny. I think it was Destiny Taken King. Yeah, it was the Taken King. I was in college at the time, and I remember being super excited because it was coming out like during the afternoon, and that was like a day where I only had one class, and it ended like in the morning. Like I had to get up early, then it ended, so I had enough time to get home, get in front of my PS4 like a little bit before the expansion dropped. So I was like right there when it launched, and like I remember playing the whole day, like till I had to go to bed. Like the only time I took a break was to go to the bathroom or to go eat. I just remember the Taken King being so much fun. There was so much to do on the Dreadnought. I know you played it a little bit too, so you know what it was like. Wait, did you play Taken King, Garrett, or did you not?
I dabbled. I never played all the way through. I never did the raid.
Yeah, so I think it was Preston that played it with me. Yeah, I think his uncle too. But anyways, yeah, I just really have a lot of fond memories playing through that expansion. It added a lot of cool stuff to the game, and it really is known for like fixing Destiny 1 from its launch state. Another one is several launches of World of Warcraft. I have really fond memories of playing on launch day. Probably pretty relatable to your Final Fantasy 14 scenario here, Kyle. For the, what is it called, the Shadowbringers DLC that just came out. Definitely looks like a good time. I watched a little bit of coverage for it. And I watched the class videos that you sent me, Kyle. So it definitely looks cool. If I was ever to get into an MMO, I would, another one I would consider that one for sure. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. But I also have fond memories of playing Skyrim when it launched. I remember, I didn't play this on launch day. I waited till the Friday after it came out, I think. But I remember going with my friend Elliot. Gary, you're also friends with Elliot. We were in college as well, and we lived together in the same room, and we went to GameStop that Friday after we were done with classes and picked up Skyrim. I don't think he picked up Skyrim because we only needed one copy, but I remember taking it home and having a lot of fun playing that the night that we bought it, and it was just so incredible exploring a brand new like Elder Scrolls world. I just remember. I know you guys also played Skyrim a ton when it came out, including us three podcast hosts. But yeah, I remember like very fondly that I wanted to play like a tank warrior. Like I wanted to have a shield and a sword, and I just wanted to go into dungeons and just whack everything. And just I always had like this drive to find really cool looking like pieces of gear, and I was always crafting stuff to see how much more damage it would do. I just really got really captured by the whole fantasy of Elder Scrolls back when it came out, and I miss those days. I'm still waiting for another game to make me that excited again. But I guess like the last time I felt like that was sort of like the BFA launch. And that wasn't like my favorite launch. I think it was probably one of the more smooth ones for me. And it's just in terms of like not having any disconnects or anything like that. But I going back to WoW, I really like have a lot of fondness for the Mists of Pandaria expansion, which came out, I think, when we were at the apartment, Garrett. Or maybe it was the same year that we moved in was when it came out. And that was one of my favorite releases because I just have a lot of fun memories raiding and making a lot of friends back in that time playing WoW. And that's when I did some of my most hardcore raiding too. But yeah, I'm not going to take up any more time there. I'll let you go.
That's okay, Jacob. Skyrim was a big one for me. Both Skyrim and Halo 3 were two games that when I started playing them, I couldn't believe I was actually playing them.
Yeah.
Similar to Spider-Man as well. The first time I played Spider-Man at E3 in 2018, I think, right?
2018? That was last year.
Yeah. I couldn't believe I was playing that for the first time. It was even when I got the full game, of course, but even like the first time I touched it, I could not fathom playing it. It was one of those rare occasions, like you described, that you just can't even believe how excited you are.
Yeah.
I think games that have the potential to get me that excited are Doom Eternal. I mean, Doom Eternal at the end of the day is just a really kick-ass shooter, but I'm a big fan of Doom 2016, so I'm definitely extremely excited for that. But I think Cyberpunk will be the next one that I'm like truly like overwhelmingly stoked for. I mean, now that we're adults, I mean, it takes a lot for me to like lose my mind over something.
Very true. Yeah.
I mean, with Endgame, I was very, very excited, but I haven't felt that overwhelming sense of anticipation in quite a while.
I had that same feeling when I went to go see Harry Potter Deathly Hallows 2.
Yeah.
The second movie.
Mm-hmm. So it's been a minute since I felt that excited, but I think Halo Infinite has the potential to get me very excited as well.
True.
But I'm hoping something, whether it be a movie or a game, gets me that excited again. But and as far as like content drops, not really a content drop, but the first beta I ever participated in was for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original. And that was a pretty cool experience knowing that, because I'd never played a beta before. So at the time I felt really cool, and it was like a private beta. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but those are the big ones that stick out to me. And unfortunately, I am completely out of time, Jacob. I got to leave very soon, but this was an absolute blast. I'm so glad we could do it. I hope the video works out. And to each and every one of you who are tuning in, we love you to bits. Thank you so much for doing so. Of course, we encourage you to comment on YouTube and on Discord about anything we've discussed, and continue to send us Ask IOG questions each and every week to fuel that part of the podcast. And if you're willing, rate, subscribe, and review us on Apple Podcasts to help us grow.
Please.
And by some miracle, maybe we'll wind up on the new and noteworthy page, because although we've been around for 4.5 years now, almost 4.5 years, much of the world is yet to hear this podcast. So technically we'd be
We're still noteworthy, okay?
Yeah, of course. So that is, of course, been a long-term goal of ours. We can only reach it with your help. But in the meantime, of course, I will be on Master Chief Collection on Xbox and Hunt Showdown on PC.
I'll be in Apex on
possibly
PC.
Xbox as well, and Apex on PC. So join Jacob and I, or me, on Xbox. We'd love to team up with you guys.
Get hyped for Season 2, baby.
Yeah, Season 2 is moving swiftly upon us.
I'm so excited.
So hope you all have a just truly unforgettable week. Even if you're just working or going to school, whatever you may be up to, I hope it's just truly amazing.
Yes,
and we'll talk to you very soon on Discord and other platforms. And again, thank you so much for the support. We cannot thank you guys enough. We love you to bits, and we'll catch you again very soon.
Yep. Everyone have a good week. Bye.
See ya.